So our goal is to teach them to pay their bills.
And how many kids have you had in this organization?
Mm. We've been we've been in existence about 28 years, 27 years. So I mean, I couldn't tell you. We're probably serving right now about 2 or 3 thousand a year. So I have to do the math, and then it was a lot less when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, when I took over, we had a 40-bed shelter and a 30-bed foster care home with about 70 or 80 employees. Right now, we're up to about 900 employees. So it's a pretty big organization.
And how long do the kids normally stay for?
It's very, very different, according to each kid. Just depending on how long it takes us to make sure that we are sending them with their parents and or the closest blood relative.
So how would you describe the impact this organization has had on the immigration in the community?
What we do has nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, we're simply a child care facility.
Mm-hmm.
So our job is not to adjudicate these kids. It's not to decide whether they stay in the country or not, what their immigration status is. None of that. What we do is we provide for the basic needs of the kids. And so I think we've been around the longest. Nobody's been around longer than we have. 27, 28 years. We do a really good job, and we just keep improving.
Has this organization stepped out into other places in the United States?
We've grown tremendously since we started. We started, like I said, with one shelter and one foster care program. Now we have over 8 programs. We have 3 foster care programs and 5. I'm sorry, 3 shelter care programs and 5 foster care programs.
And where are they located?
We have 2 in Brownsville, 2 in Harlingen, 1 in Westbrook. We have 1 shelter in Driscoll, Texas, 1 in San Benito, and 1 in Los Pasos.
Do you have any plans for expansion out of Texas?
I never have. I've always just, been kind of wanting to make what we have to be the best, but we'll do what we have to do to provide the best services that we can. So if we're asked to help in the future, of course, we consider it. It's hard work, but we consider it.
Zero down mortgages for Latinos, getting rich off the public tit, and shifting numbers to balance the budget. It is Friday, September the 2nd, 7:08 a.m. My name is Frank Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. We begin today's show with breaking news. Just yesterday afternoon, we got word that the federal government did unseal an indictment and did make an arrest on Rubén Gallegos Jr. This is in regards to embezzlement charges. And this has been a long time coming. According to the indictment, Gallegos and 2 other individuals who have yet to be announced, which is beginning work today on that sealed indictment, but that they used hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal funds to pay for themselves, and hundreds of thousands of dollars, which was above the salary cap imposed by the federal government. Now, this this case in question revolves around international educational services. You can forget back in 2016, there were rumblings of how individuals had all these lucrative jobs and were pretty much getting paid by doing pretty much nothing. The interesting thing about this case has been how these individuals were able to take money from the federal government, money that was designed to help those with most in need, the most vulnerable children. Yesterday, Lorraine Gallegos Jr. Was arrested. He will appear before a federal magistrate judge this morning to hear his charges. But again, the interesting thing about this case has been how it seems as if these individuals, they were getting money a lo mensual. If you see here, father, son, they were making $500,000. Now, these federal funds, again, were to provide care, education, services to migrant children. how we see that that has been exploited, and many people have talked to have said, Frankie, this is just this is just the beginning. How can a large enterprise such as this, for many years, go on without anybody noticing of all these large amounts of money, these funds that were allocated for a few employees? But right now, the indictment, the press release by the federal government just announced three individuals being under indictment. If you look at this list, many insiders believe that the father, senior, and the CFO will be the ones to be arrested next. Now, what does this lead to? Many individuals question as to the departure of two career politicians. Now, it is very odd whenever politicians retire, whenever they let go of a seat early. This leads us to believe that possibly father son possibly had something to do with IES. As we all know, Eddie Bush III was counsel for IES. We have seen pictures of the close bonds and relationships that the Lucios and the Gallegos had at one time. Now there is rumbling that Gallegos is upset with the Lucios because they left them out to dry after all this evidence, all this information became public. But where does this lead to? Again, we had three career politicians retire. We had the Lucios, we had Vela. Could this be a case where the Democratic Party went up to these individuals and said, it's best for you to retire because you might tarnish the seat, you might tarnish the party come November? Should we be hearing of more individuals? And the interesting thing about IES, ladies and gentlemen, was that it seems as if Gallegos, all his friends on his payroll, he has the news of the sister, a principal at Veterans High School. We have heard about a grandfather, Cortez, Rubin, our current state board of education, who was also a highly paid employee of IES. The books will show that individuals were working for pretty much nothing. Now, what does this lead to? Well, we do have an elementary. We do have an elementary that Dr. Gallegos was named at. Would the community be in favor of having the name change of, and this is just preliminary. Back in 2016, when the federal government started asking questions, started looking into this, the individuals started scratching their head and saying, oh, what do we have here? Is this a case of son gone rogue, where a father, a doctor of all things, worked his career off to get this contract, and his son come and just blunder it all away? There's issues in this case, is that these are the most vulnerable children. These individuals take advantage of that. Another thing, not just anybody, ladies and gentlemen, gets these contracts. Did they brush shoulders with the right people? Did they have representatives and senators at their disposal that guided them through the process? Again, they are charged, allegedly, with embezzling $17 million throughout the course of, say, 10 years. This is only the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, but we are starting to see how the federal government is starting to crack down on the Sylvia Atkinson, which continues with Gallegos. We are going to see how individuals, politicians, will slowly start to see the wrath on the federal government. What other politicians are we going to see? What other big names are we going to see unravel through this? It's going to be very interesting to know. The breaking news that we didn't see yesterday, Rubén Gallegos Jr., son, was arrested. The insiders anticipate father, Dr. Rubén Gallegos Sr., to be arrested as well, along with the CFO. These individuals, they use a program that was intended for the most vulnerable children to give themselves $500,000 salary. That's not including other properties that they have. Not including other money that they made off these properties. It's going to be interesting to see how all this unravels. We are starting to see how the federal government is starting to crack down on these programs, on these individuals who have taken advantage of these situations. Now, this weekend, we invite our community to go out to the Amigo Land Mall. This Saturday, we'll be having Brownsville, Texas' very own Johnny Blaze Tapia in the Throwdown in Browntown. This will be the World Class Boxing, which is set for Saturday, September the 3rd at the Amigo Land Event Center. We invite our community to show support. Johnny Blaze Tapia, along with the Juarez boys, have been the staple for here for the city of Brownsville. And everywhere they've gone, they've competed at the highest level. Johnny Blaze Tapia, in previous fights, he fought in Madison Square Garden in New York City. He did not get the victory. And again, boxing is a mafia, as we all know. But on that fight, we feel, we're convinced that Johnny Blaze Tapia was robbed of his fight. So Johnny Blaze Tapia is on the comeback trail. This is his second fight from the Madison Square Garden fight. We encourage our friends and family to go out and show support. Tickets are still available. Make sure you contact his manager, his father, Juan Tapia, if you are seeking to buy tickets. Tickets will be available at the door this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday, I'm sorry, this Saturday, Johnny Blaze Tapia will be fighting. Will be fighting at the New Land events. We invite our family. We invite our family to go out. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's go with that. I do apologize. Technology, as always, ladies and gentlemen. Now, something very interesting that we also got a word is at the housing market. We have a new initiative that's going to start out, and this will benefit Latinos. Bank of America recently announced that they will have a program that's going to benefit minorities, in particular Blacks and African Americans. This housing program will benefit those who have been usual renters. And what we have seen predominantly in the state of Texas, and this is according to the National Association of Realtors, based on home ownership in the United States, that predominantly white individuals, Caucasians, are the ones that are homeowners, and Blacks, Hispanics fall last on the totem pole. Now, again, as we all know right now, the way the housing market is crazy. Houses are very expensive here down in South Texas. We blame that largely on SpaceX. We have seen how the appraisal value of homes have skyrocketed. Houses in the colonias, which was once would go for 70, 80,000, are now going close to 200. We have seen the impact of SpaceX and how many individuals now can't afford a home. Rent, as we all know, has gone on exponentially. It is very expensive. Now, will this program benefiting African Americans, Latinos? Is this something that will benefit them? Or is this something, if we remember back in 08 with Freddie Mae, what happened? The housing market collapsed. Why? Because there was a lot of individuals lending to people who couldn't afford to pay their homes. What happened? There was a crash in the housing market, and we saw how individuals with lots of money were able to recoup those houses at a very low price and then make money. So Bank of America will be initiating a new program that will allow minorities, Blacks and Hispanics, to put zero down on their home. this is a catch-22, if you ask me. Why? Because there are no jobs. Inflation is through the roof. Gasoline, I don't know if you've noticed, but it has been going up steadily. Just rose. There was a 276, but that was only a emotional thing. But will this benefit us minorities, or will this hinder us? By Bank of America in North Texas, in Dallas, by them implementing a program that will allow individuals to not have to pay a zero down payment. Will this allow them? Will this allow the masses to be homeowners? Looking in hindsight, will this affect us? Because this will affect our credit. We won't be able to make our payments. Only time will tell. So we will see how this will affect in the long run. Should we be seeing other parts in the state of Texas that will follow suit? This is something that we'll be following because this could be a gift and a curse for some. By not having to pay a down payment, we can focus on our first mortgage payment and be on the right track. Start off on the right track. Will this allow other programs in other cities, especially on those less impoverished areas such as Rio Grande Valley? It remains to be seen. Now, it seems as if politicians, whenever they run for, one would say, the right reasons. They want to make a difference within our society. They want to be part of a movement that brings change to our city. But other individuals, they see politics as a way to get fat, getting rich off the public tip. It seems as if our local politicos, that is all they're interested in. Just recently, the Justices of the Peace did file a grievance for seeking higher pay. Now, these two Justices of the Peace, they have over 20 years of service to Cameron County. Now, my question to my community, do we want our politicians to get raises? Don't we need to spread the wealth? It seems as if everybody wants a piece of the pie. But there's not enough pie to go around. Now, these individuals, they do get paid handsomely. They get paid close to $70,000, not including salaries, not including weddings. I'm sorry. And as we all know, weddings for Justice of the Peace are very lucrative. We have heard how many Justices of the Peace have been making over six figures just on weddings and marriages. Now, why do individuals run for public office? Because they want to provide a better quality of life for you and I? Or, ladies and gentlemen, is it because they want to get rich, getting rich off the public tip? Public office should not be for one to enrich himself. Public office is one, it should be used to serve our community. If these individuals have served over 20 years, maybe it's time for them to retire. Maybe it's time for them to go out in the real world in corporate America. My job said, Frankie, you want a $25,000 raise? How about you go out in the real world and see how it goes for you? And I decided to make that jump. Why? Because I felt that I was worth X amount. And I said, hey, I want six figures. They said, good luck, Frankie. Same thing we should be telling our politicals. Oh, you want a raise? You didn't know what you were getting yourself into? Politics should never be a position to get rich. Political office should be a service to our community. And now that these individuals that have over 20 years in office, maybe it's time for them to try their luck in corporate America. If they feel that they're worth X amount, $70,000, why don't they go out in the real world? Because as we all know, these politicos, they can't make it. They can't hack it unless they're on that public tip. Look at these individuals that have stayed 8, 12, 16, 20 years. Why don't they leave? Because they're milking it. They're milking it, ladies and gentlemen, for all it's worth. And it bothers me that individuals that have served and say that they have served for 20 years, they don't see the significance behind them receiving a raise compared to their employees. Now, a lot has been said as of late regarding the over $5 million deficit that Cameron County currently finds themselves in. And much talk has been made about the reasons why we find ourselves in this hole. Cameron County Judge Eddie Trevino did state that one of the reasons why that they find themselves in this pickle is because the Cameron County Sheriff Department, they lost a contract of over $2 million with the federal government for housing inmates. But my question is, being physically responsible, if this is a program that Cameron County has had throughout the years, and this is going back way into former Sheriff Omar Lucio's tenure, where has that money gone? Shouldn't we do a better job of allocating, of being resourceful with our money and setting a percentage of it aside? Are we using the $2 million and just spending it? We're so quick to get money and spend it. That's something that my mom always tells me. Take it easy with your money. Be careful of how you spend it. Currently, our Cameron County budget was facing a $5 million deficit. Well, now, a few days ago, we learned that according to Judge Eddie Trevino, they were able and they managed to balance the books. Now, how does one get rid of $5 million? Now, accountants, as they say, are magicians. They find ways to plug and pull and shift numbers to make it pretty, to make it balanced. But what we have trouble believing is that by simply moving around numbers, it's going to make it work. Where is the $5 million deficit? Where did it go to? Are we going to rely on the federal government's $2 million? Are we taking that into account? Many employees, many supervisors, judges have come before commissioners court and have asked for a raise, not for them, but for their employees. Why? Because it's difficult to compete with other jobs that are paying $20, $25. Cameron County has found themselves in a pickle. And current Cameron County candidate for Judge Carlos Cascos, he did state that a $5.2 million deficit is not eliminated by moving numbers around. And this is a CPA, ladies and gentlemen. All it takes was shifting dollars, and there was never a deficit. If expenditures are not reduced or revenues aren't increased, there is no balancing. This is all smoke and mirrors. Stating that taxes were not increased is an outright deception. If appraisals went up and the tax rate was not decreased, your taxes were increased. Simple. Not unfreezing positions in the sheriff's office is essentially unfunding that department. And after all the BS being doled around, in the end, each member of this commission received $11,000 raise. Now, who can forget during the pandemic, when no jobs were hiring, when everyone was at a standstill, each commissioner received $11,000. We had Joey Lopez, Eddie Trevino, Joey Lopez and Eddie Trevino, who had less than 2 years on the seat. They gave themselves a raise. Again, why do individuals run for public office? It's because they want to live on that tip. Now they're saying that they were able to balance the budget by not having to increase taxes. We have a CPA, a very knowledgeable individual who has seen it all. And he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, that all this is smoke and mirrors. That by them plugging and shifting numbers, it is not essentially balancing the budget. It is all BS. But this is what we have to deal with. Individuals who will do just about anything and say just about anything to get elected. Once it was learned that the plan was to increase taxes, they said, oh, that's going to affect our campaign in November. Balancing the budget. Where did that $5 million deficit go? Is it just a ploy for us to think that everything is A-okay in Cameron County? How will you vote this November? Do you expect your elected officials to be physically responsible with our money, with our taxpayer money? Or do you expect them to be in a bigger deficit next time around? Today it was 5 million. Where is it going to be tomorrow? And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. We started today's segment with breaking news. International Educational Services, Ruben Gallegos Jr., he was arrested by the federal government. An unsealed indictment will be released today. As of right now, all we know is that the top 3 employees, father, son, and the CFO, are on those indictments. Are we going to see the father, senior, the doctor, who has a school named after him? Will he be arrested? Where will that lead us? Again, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but this is a black eye for BISD. Should we disassociate ourselves with an individual who, according to the federal government and their allegations, he took money from the most vulnerable children and programs available? And it's not just peanuts, ladies and gentlemen. It's $17 million. Getting rich off the public tit, we had Justice of the Peace requesting for an increase in pay, and they're saying, hey, we've been here for 20 years, and there's other positions that are getting more money, and we feel that we need to make more money. They should test the open market. They should go out to the real world. If they expect for them to make that money, if they feel that is what they're worth, maybe it's time to bow and say goodbye to Cameron County. Public office should not be for one to get rich. Public office should be for one to serve our community, not to see what's in my best interest. But it seems that as if that is what Cameron County is all about. Our Cameron County Commissioners Court, they gave themselves an $11,000 raise during the pandemic. And then they're asking and questioning, where did that money go? Why are we in a deficit? Well, Sherlock, you're the reason why. Again, getting rich off the public tit. Our politicals think that it is their money. It is their pot, and they should do as they please. It is interesting to note. Good morning, my man. Hope you have a great day. Are you going to Vegas or not? These politicals feel as if it is their treasure trove, and they do as they wish. 0 mortgages down for Latinos. Bank of America is having a program in Dallas where they will not require their participants to have to pay a down payment. And many individuals have been skeptical and saying what happened in 2008 when the housing market crashed. Individuals got houses that they couldn't afford. And those rich individuals came up and bought them for pennies on the dollar. The way mortgages are right now, is it best to buy a house right now? Is it best to rent? We'll be monitoring this program to see how this unfolds and shifting numbers to balance the budget. It seems as if our politicals will say just about anything right before election time. They said that they were going to increase the taxes once they saw the uproar of individuals who were upset at the thought of having to pay more money. They're saying, oh, no, we got this cleared up. We shifted some numbers here and there. We have a CPA, Carlos Cascos, who is the Cameron County Republican nominee for Cameron County judge, a CPA himself. He stated, this is all BS. It is all smoke and mirrors. You can't just shift numbers here and there. That's called cooking the books, if you don't know what I mean. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. It is Friday, September the 2nd, 7:35 a.m. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. No show Monday. Happy Labor Day. I'm going to spend some time out on the beach, get some rays. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I do apologize for my tardiness. Technology, this damn thing. I need to buy another mic. I'm always trying to give you a better show. Every day, each and every time I come on, I want to put on the best show, best production. And whenever I fail, I take it very, very seriously. So I'll be back at it on Wednesday, guys. Have a good weekend. Happy Labor Day. Hope to see you here on Wednesday. God bless.